Hello, welcome to the Voice at Gugu. Good to have you here. Today I'm going to be talking about Bitcoin. It's set to become the global base currency. At the moment it's the US dollar. Banks as they exist today will definitely be a thing of the past. They're certainly corrupt, create a boom and bust cycle. Debt is created by fractional reserve, so they can literally loan out up to X amount of times of the amount they have in their reserves, which there aren't any reserves anyway because it's not backed by anything. It's not pegged to anything like it used to be, the gold or silver, etc. It just doesn't have any value. The value it has is what bankers make it have. When they press buttons on the screen and make up numbers, they're allowed to essentially loan out money at extortionate rates and charge interest on it. And when they loan out money and people can't afford to pay those debts, then the system eventually goes broke. And as you saw in 2008 with a financial meltdown. In 2009, a Bitcoin paper came out by Satoshi Nakamoto, and he wrote a peer-to-peer sharing system, a digital currency. There is a finite amount, and we'll talk about that more in a moment. As I was saying, that debt that is created by banks, and when they fail, the government steps in and it bails them out. But they don't pay the bills. Of course, we pay the bills, the taxpayers. What happens is even more wealth shifts from those in the poverty trap up through the working class to the middle class, and it shifts to those private banking families that have been able to print money for hundreds of years. And that's the truth. It's no surprise that the only sector that ever makes money when it fails is the financial sector. Let's talk about Bitcoin. As I said, Bitcoin is a finite number that will enter circulation. There will only ever be 21 million. It is a peer-to-peer sharing system. Essentially, we are the bank. We control and manage our own asset. We get to store it if we choose to on an exchange, but the safest method is to put it onto a ledger, which is known as a cold wallet. And you get to keep that and you get to move that around freely. There are more and more places that are accepting Bitcoin as an exchange mechanism. There's more and more opportunity to get involved because there are more and more exchanges for you to purchase and store that Bitcoin. And the value is going up. It went from the first exchange, which was reportedly 2 pizzas bought by an Englishman for an American. He was given 10,000 Bitcoins for carrying out the transaction. Now, today's value, I think that'll be around 390 million US dollars. It's January 2021. Where are we? Well, the global economic value in terms of GDP is $88 trillion, as shown here by that chart that the visualcapitalist.com have produced. Of that 88 trillion, 70% of it is in the hands of 10 leading countries: USA, China, Japan, Germany, India, UK, France, Italy, Brazil and Canada. That 88 trillion is an important number because I just want to carry out an experiment. I'm going to put the 88 trillion into the calculator here, 88 followed by 12 zeros. Why am I doing that? Let's have a look at how many Bitcoins are actually in existence. 18.6 million are already in existence. There are 2.4 million thereabouts left to be mined to reach that finite amount of 21 million Bitcoins in circulation. The current price of Bitcoin in US dollars is just pushing 40,000 US dollars. It beat its all-time high record last week of 42,000 US dollars. Let's take current market value, 39,500. Let's just for argument's sake call it 40,000 US dollars. Let's go back to the calculator and we see we still have that $88 trillion up there. Let's just say that we already shifted in this scenario to 21 million Bitcoin in its existence. The market will be no more. It will only ever be 21 million. Let's say they were in play today. Bitcoin was the base currency and all other currencies or denominations or oil, etc., was using Bitcoin and it was pegged to the Bitcoin and that was the base currency. Well, then in that case, that $88 trillion would be subdivided by 21 million bitcoins, because that's as many as there will be. So at today's market value, according to the world economy valuation, once we reach saturation point, each bitcoin be worth 4.2 million thereabouts. So there's still time for you, the average person, to go out and to pick themselves up a bitcoin, a share of a bitcoin, a tenth of a bitcoin, a hundredth of a bitcoin, a thousandth of a bitcoin. In fact, you can go down to 8 decimal places. It's going to cost you 40 grand for one. That's true in US dollars. But let's just say you had $400 and you went out and bought there and you held on for it for dear life. Don't let it go. And you reach this scenario where 88 trillion subdivided by those 21 million, which you would have 100th of one share. If that happened, then you would be worth 40,000 US dollars. It's only going to go up in value. Why? Because people are disillusioned with the current banking system. It's time for change. For me, it works beautifully because Gugu, the sound of Gugu, and Gugu's charter, which is a model to get the world's basic needs provided as a birthright, not as a privilege, eats up this theory, eats up this practical application, because it's the building blocks of getting the job done. And I can go into far more detail about that. But this was just my little chat about Bitcoin and how Bitcoin is going to play a fundamental role in creating basic needs for all as a birthright, not as a privilege. Good to see ya. Thanks for being here. This is our world. This is our voice. I'm happy to hear yours. Thanks for listening to mine. See you again soon. See ya.